Hello everyone and welcome back to DBZ College Chipul. As we all know, we have started our second lesson, environmental pollution, in which we have studied air pollution, climate change and soil pollution. And today we are going to study noise pollution. In this topic, in this session, we will discuss what is meant by noise, what is meant by noise pollution, what are sources of noise pollution, and effects of noise pollution on human health as well as on other living organisms. And in the end of this session, we will discuss how can noise pollution be controlled. So let us get into the today's session. Let us start with noise. The word noise is derived from the Latin word nausea, which means unpleasant or unwanted sound that causes discomfort. Noise can be defined as a wrong sound in the wrong place at the wrong time. When the sound becomes noise, it adversely affects the auditory system of human beings, animals, and birds. All over the world, in urban localities, noise pollution has been recognized as a major factor affecting public health and well-being. So, let us discuss the definition of noise pollution. Noise pollution is nothing but a regular exposure to the elevated sound levels that may lead to adverse effects in humans or other living organisms. We are having one more definition of noise pollution, that any unwanted, disturbing or harmful sound that impairs or interferes with the hearing, causes stress, hampers concentration and work efficiency, or causes accidents is nothing but noise pollution. So these are the two definitions of noise pollution. The first definition is a regular exposure to elevated sound levels that may lead to adverse effects in humans or other living organisms is nothing but noise pollution. And one more definition is any unwanted, disturbing or harmful sound that impairs or interferes with the hearing, causes stress, hampers concentration and work efficiency, or cause accidents is nothing but noise pollution. As we all know, intensity of sound is measured in the unit decibels. Now, the sound beyond 80 decibel becomes noise as it harms auditory system. Let us discuss noise standards. So, sound beyond 80 decibel becomes noise as it harms auditory systems. The World Health Organization (WHO) has fixed the 45 decibel as a safe noise level for city. According to WHO, the noise of 45 decibel is the suitable or the safe noise level for a city. According to international standards, noise of 65 decibel is considered tolerable. So as per international standards, a noise level up to 65 decibel is considered tolerable. According to the living style and standards, the different countries of the world have their own noise pollution standards. In India, the Bureau of Indian Standard, that is BIS. So according to BIS, in India, the BIS has recommended noise level between 45 to 60 decibel in an industrial area. So BIS has recommended 45 to 60 decibel noise level in an industrial area. The threshold limit value, that is TLV, which is accepted everywhere under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, is 90 decibel for 9 hours, 95 decibels for 4 hours, 100 decibels for 2 hours and 115 decibels for 15 minutes per day. So these are the threshold limit values of different sound intensities for different durations. Let me repeat. The threshold limit values accepted everywhere under the Occupational Safety and Health Act is 90 decibels for 9 hours, 95 decibels for 4 hours, 100 decibels for 2 hours and 115 decibels for 15 minutes per day. So these are the noise standards. After studying noise standards, let us have a look towards intensity of some sound sources on decibel scales. So the first source, that is breathing. The intensity of breathing on decibels is 10 decibels. 10 decibels. Intensity of soft whisper is 20 to 30 decibels. Intensity of sound in library is 30 to 35 decibels. Intensity of low volume radio is 35 to 40 decibels. Intensity of normal conversation is 35 to 60 decibels. Office noise is having intensity of 60 to 80 decibels. Traffic noise is having intensity of 50 to 90 decibels. A running motorcycle is having intensity of 115 to 120 decibels. Jet plane taking off, intensity of jet plane taking off is 140 to 150 decibels. And intensity of launching of space rockets is 160 to 180 decibels. So this is all about intensity of some sound sources on decibel scales. Now after studying intensity of sound sources on decibel scales, let us discuss sources of sound pollution or noise pollution. So different sources of noise pollution are: first is industrialization or industries, the second is social events, third is transportation, fourth is construction activities, and last is domestic or household gadgets. So let us have a look towards all the sources in detail. Let us discuss the first important source, that is industrialization or industries. Most of the industries use big machines capable of producing huge amount of noise. Apart from that, various equipments like compressors, generators, exhaust fans, grinding mills also contributing in a noise pollution. As industrial instruments produce huge noise, therefore it is recommended that the workers in the industries should use earplugs while working. So industry is one of the major source of noise pollution because industries are having various machines which are capable of making huge noise. So this is the first source, industries. Now the second important source, major source, is transportation. Now in transportation, transport noise mainly consists of traffic noise, and this traffic is from roads, rail and aircrafts. Automobiles on roads like motors, scooters, cars, motorcycles, buses, trucks and diesel engines vehicles are mainly responsible for this traffic noise. So the vehicles which are running on the road also create huge noise. So transportation is also one of the major sources of noise pollution. Now the third important source of noise pollution is construction activities. Now in construction activities, under construction activities like mining, construction of bridges, construction of dams, construction of buildings, construction of stations, various stations like bus stations, railway stations, etc., construction of roads, construction of flyovers. So these kinds of activities take place everywhere, and these activities require various machines, and these machines are again capable of making huge noise. So construction is also one of the important source of noise pollution because they are using noisy machines. So construction is also one of the important source of noise pollution. Now the next important source is household gadgets or domestic gadgets. Gadgets like food mixer, grinder, vacuum cleaner, washing machine, dryers, coolers, air conditioners can be very noisy and injurious to our health. Along with these instruments, some other instruments are also there that we use in our domestic activities like loudspeakers, sometimes sound systems and TVs, iPods, earphones. So these instruments are also continuously adding to the noise pollution. So domestic gadgets, domestic instruments are also responsible for noise pollution. And as seen in the sources, one more source is social events. In India, we celebrate various festivals, social gatherings are there. So the loudspeakers which we use during these social events, social activities is also responsible for noise pollution. So these are the various sources of noise pollution. The first source is industrial activities or industrialization. Second source is transportation. Third is construction activities. fourth is domestic gadgets or household gadgets, and the last is social events. So this is all about sources of noise pollution. Now, after studying sources of noise pollution, let us study effects of noise pollution. Noise pollution is having adverse effects on human health as well as on the health of other living organisms. So let us discuss effects on human health first. So effects of noise pollution on human health are annoyance and aggression. So the first effect is annoyance and aggression. The second effect is hypertension. Third is high stress levels. Next is tinnitus. It can cause hearing loss. It causes sleep disturbances. It causes forgetfulness. Sometimes it causes severe depression, and it also causes panic attacks. So these are some of the health effects of noise pollution. The disastrous effects of noise pollution on human health of the people or health of the people and animals is well reported. Constant noise affects a man physically and mentally. So on human health there are physical and mental health effects. A child's physical and psychological health is hampered by noise. Noise pollution also affects elderly person by increasing the blood pressure. So physical and psychological health of the children is affected, while noise pollution is having effects on elderly persons also. In elderly persons it causes the problem of blood pressure. Other psychological effects are also seen in humans due to noise pollution, and these are loss of hearing, hypertension, stress disease, etc. So these are the physiological effects which are seen in humans. Noise pollution is also responsible for various other effects, like it also causes pain, nausea, vomiting, nervousness, irritation, headache, etc. So these kind of effects are also seen in humans. Many behavioral changes are noticed in people working in factories that produce a huge noise, are nervousness, irritation, headache, giddiness, etc. So behavioral changes are also noticed which are caused due to noise pollution. Sometimes it can cause permanent deafness. It also creates disturbances to animals, and it also affects bird life. So now we have seen effects on human health. Let us discuss effects of noise pollution on animals. So effects on animals and aquatic life. So first effect on animals is an impact of noise on animal life is the reduction of usable habitats. Due to continuous noise pollution, the usable habitats for different wild animals is decreasing day by day. So the loss of usable wild habitats is one of the important impact on animals. And this loss of usable habitats can cause the loss of living organisms. The species especially which are on verge of extinction, they become extinct or they become endangered due to loss of their habitats. Now, noise pollution has caused the death of certain species of whales that beached themselves after being exposed to the loud sound of military sonar. So this noise pollution is having an effect on aquatic life also. So in case of animals, it decreases usable habitats. Noise pollution is also having effects on aquatic life. It is also dangerous to the birds. In case of birds also, in noisy areas, birds cannot stay for longer duration. So they change their habitat if their habitat is noisy. So birds are also suffering due to the problem of noise pollution. So the noise pollution is having effects on human health as well as on aquatic life, animals and birds. So this is all about effects of noise pollution on humans and different animals. Now after studying effects of noise pollution, let us study the control measures of noise pollution. How can noise pollution be controlled? The noise pollution should be checked at the source only, and to check the noise pollution at its source, we should replace the noisy devices. So to replace noisy devices, noisy parts should be needed, or it is essential. Effective cushioning should be there to minimize vibrations. Proper greasing and oiling is essential to avoid frictions, and using of proper silencers are effective ways to minimize noise pollution at source level. So to minimize the noise pollution at source level, we should replace the noisy devices or parts. Effective cushioning should be there to minimize vibrations. Proper greasing and oiling must be there to avoid frictions, and using of proper silencers to have effective noise pollution control. The workers in factories should be provided with earplugs. As the noise pollution level in factories is very high, so there should be earplugs provided to the workers in factories. The noise of factories can be minimized by construction of proper soundproof walls, doors or ceilings. So there should be soundproof walls, doors and ceilings to avoid noise pollution. Construction of residentials near railways or railway stations, bus stations, airports should be avoided. We should not construct our houses or domestic residentials near bus stations, railway stations or near airport. Then along with all this, one more important thing is loudspeakers should be regulated in public places. Periodic servicing and pollution tests of buses, trucks and cars should be mandatory to minimize noise from the engine. So there should be periodic servicing, and there must be, to have a PUC certificate should be must. Actually it is must, but many of the vehicle owners, they do not have PUC certificate. They neglect to have the PUC certificate, but it should be mandatory. It should be the responsibility of every citizen to have PUC certificate on a regularly. Then stringent action should be taken against people who are violating rules of Environment Protection Act. In India, we are having various acts, various laws which are enacted to control different types of pollutions. People should follow all these rules and laws, and if someone is not following the rules or the laws, then stringent action should be taken against him so that noise pollution can be minimized. Proper development of green belts should be there to minimize noise pollution. Plantation of specific species of trees help to absorb excessive noise from industries and other noisy areas. So plants help to reduce noise pollution by absorbing excessive noise which is coming out from different instruments, different machines, from different industries or other noisy areas. So this is how green belt also helps to minimize noise pollution. So these are the noise pollution controlling measures. After studying noise pollution controlling measures, let us have a look towards the noise pollution control rules of 2017. According to the noise pollution control rule of 2017, this rule has established the parameters for maximum sound limits in various zones. So this sound pollution control rule of 2017 has established the parameters for maximum sound limits in various zones. This rule has got, the state governments have got power according to this rule to notify the 100 meters area around hospitals, educational institutes and courts as the silent zones. So according to provision in this rule, state governments can declare the area nearby educational institutes, courts and hospitals 100 meters of the area around all these institutes as the silent zones. So this is all about noise pollution control rules of 2017. These are the salient features of noise pollution control rule of 2017. As we have seen that this rule has established the parameters for maximum sound limits in various zones. So let us see these parameters. So here are the parameters: noise level standards in decibels in various zones. In industries, during daytime the noise level should be of 75 decibels and during night it should be 70 decibels. In commercial areas, the noise during daytime should be 65 and during night it should be 55 decibels. In residential areas, the noise during daytime is 55 decibels and during night it should be 45 decibels. In silent zones like hospitals, educational institutes and courts, during daytime it should be 50 decibels, and during night it should be 40 decibels. So this is all about the noise pollution control rules of 2017 and the parameters of noise in different localities. This is all about the noise pollution. So in this session we have seen what is noise, what is meant by noise pollution. We have studied sources of noise pollution, that is industries, construction activities, traffic noise, household gadgets, social events, etc. So we have seen all these sources. Then we have seen effects of noise pollution on human health, on aquatic life, on animals and birds, and in the end we have seen noise pollution control measures along with the noise pollution control rule of 2017. Thank you.